Hi guys, this is Didi who's living on High Vibe YouTube channel. I'm here to help you raise your vibration, and today's topic is 3 reasons why you should quit caffeine. But before we start, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, click the bell notification, and click the like button as you watch the video. So approximately 90% of world's population is hooked on caffeine in one form or the other. So the most popular way to be hooked on caffeine is obviously coffee. I live in New York City, so every street corner, there's one street corner in Midtown near Empire State Building where you can go and stand and count 4 Starbucks from that viewpoint. I thought it was absolutely mind-blowing. And you know what? More and more Starbucks are opening, more and more mom and pop shops are opening, more and more other chains are opening. So that shows you the extent of the situation. So everybody's basically on caffeine in one form or the other. And the other form, which is very popular, is obviously soft drinks and energy drinks. Then of course there's significant amount of caffeine in chocolate. Anyways, so let's get into it. My background is that I've been abusing caffeine all my life, and then I quit twice, in 2017 and on October 29th, 2019. The first time around, I didn't drink coffee for almost a year, and then I restarted it because I wanted to experience some sort of a high, because I was out on a traveling type of gig where the contract was pretty crappy, and that gave me a comfort because I wanted to have this high, etc. So eventually I got rid of that contract, but here I was about a month or 2 later, I was again hooked, and I quit the first time around because I had issues with my adrenals. And then after a while restarting caffeine, I realized that my adrenals are going to the gutter again. So things happened in a very interesting fashion on the 29th of October. It was actually kind of like a divine coincidence that I wound up skipping my cup of coffee, and then I became literally unbelievably ill. My headache was so bad that I had to get cold compresses for a big part of my night in order to actually sleep, and then I mean it was complete nightmare. So I decided that is it, I am done. I already know the story, I know the facts, I want to get rid of it, and so I quit it for the second time, and this time I do not plan to return to coffee for any reason. Even chocolate is under the question mark. I do like to bake here and there, but besides that, my attitude towards sweets is you didn't bake it, you won't eat it. So, and there are many more ingredients you can explore if you like baking. For example, one unbelievable ingredient is honey, and that, you know, that is something, at least for my taste, you don't need to have chocolate with honey-based doughs and stuff like that. So, number 1 reason why you should quit caffeine, what is going to happen is your sleep will improve significantly. So you want to tell me you tried to quit and then you didn't drink caffeine for 2 weeks and your sleep was crappy. So is that you're doing something wrong, or am I lying here? The answer is no. It's completely not. It's completely normal if your sleep is really bad for about 2 months. It can be faster, but it can actually take 6 months for the sleep to completely stabilize, and that has it's individual, depending from situation to situation individually. So I always recommend the book. Just go and get the book called Caffeine Blues, and then you will read about it, everything. It's literally mind-blowing, eye-opening book. It's called Caffeine Blues. So 2 months in, and I can attest it from having quit caffeine twice. 2 months in, you're going to start to sleep much better. You're going to sleep like a baby. So that is number 1. Nobody really talks about it. They kind of mention, oh, it's not good to drink caffeine in the afternoon because you're not going to be able to sleep. But no, and you generally want to quit caffeine, and then you will see complete difference, night and day difference in your life. Number 2, you will have more energy if you quit caffeine. So the reason why people drink caffeine in one form or other is because they want to have more energy. But what you're getting when you're drinking caffeine is not energy, it's adrenaline. So when the adrenaline is released in your body, you become a lot more alert, and that's because it activates the fight and flight system in your body. So you just become like, ooh, yeah, I feel like I have the energy, but it's like you don't have like a tiger to kill because nobody's attacking you, but it's just like the whole thing is just happening in your brain, in your consciousness, and you're more alert, but it's not really alertness and energy, it's basically adrenaline pumping, and that's why a couple of hours, few hours in, your energy just crashes. It's just like, it goes like down the cliff. Number 3, your focus will increase. The reason why many people drink caffeine is because they want to have better focus. They need the energy and they need the focus, and then they think that they've got the focus, but actually the type of focus this is manifesting is basically your adrenals pumping out adrenaline, and then you activate your fight and flight system. And then the focus is as it was evolutionary, where you had a tiger trying to eat you up, and you have to kill the tiger because you have to protect yourself and your family. So that is the type of focus. And in 2020, this type of focus is pretty much not needed because we need to see the big picture, we have the details, etc. And not to mention even that pumping out adrenaline in these type of quantities like we do it in this day and age is not beneficial for overall body. It impacts so many hormones, it's not even funny. It's not only cortisol, which does a lot of balancing for day and night, you know, melatonin, serotonin. It's everything else. It has ties to the thyroid, it has ties to the pancreas. So, you know, just keep it off your body. Don't run with the, you know, lemming crowd where it's like 90% of the people trying to lie to themselves, and then of course the media lies and the companies lie, and there are so many peer studies which are basically in most cases big bean sponsored studies. So let me just add this little fun fact. You know, when they talk about, and the 1 cup, they talk about always very interestingly about 1 cup of coffee. Do you know what 1 cup of coffee actually is, as per these studies? You know these little English teacups that come on saucers, and it's literally like it has 4 sips in there. That is the type of amount they're talking about. That's a fact. Nowadays, you go into Starbucks, you get your coffee. What are you getting there? You think you're getting like 4-ounce cup of coffee? Like, I don't know, it's like espresso sized coffee. No, you're getting a freaking 16-ounce coffee, and then it's just to start the day. After the lunch you'll probably get another one, and then the night you're gonna go and get yourself a Coca-Cola or something like that. So it's all messed up, and that's just one little example. So my experience with focusing without caffeine has been absolutely amazing. For example, I can sit down and focus for hours on end, and I can zoom in on small picture, and I can zoom out on the large picture. And there's really no stress attached to it and no sense of a crazy urgency. So it's very zen, and it applies into everything, and I don't feel like in my life that I'm slowed down on any projects. In fact, I'm now accomplishing on day-to-day basis much more than I used to accomplish when drinking caffeine. It's actually wow. And then there's a bonus reason why I should quit caffeine, and that is very important because it's kind of tying into everything, and that is your emotional state will improve significantly. And the reason for that is you are not going to live from one caffeine crush to the other. For example, you drink caffeine, you have you have your so-called energy for a few hours, and then it crashes, like if you ran to the end of the cliff and jumped off. This is not going to happen. So I wake up and I can work because I have passion and I do things with passion. I work 14-hour days and it's not a big deal. And the energy is constant from the morning I wake up throughout the entire day, and then I go to bed, and then, you know, an hour or two before I go to bed, I start shutting down, or I select more relaxed tasks. So it's completely different. I think it's absolutely important, especially the emotions part. Many times people, when you have so much adrenaline rushing through your blood system, you just become irritated, angry, you're easy to be offended, easy to be pissed off. It just basically makes you miserable. And then you have so much dopamine working along with the caffeine, and the dopamine doses have to be increased more and more and more, and that's basically across the board to applies to all drugs. So this is no different. It's a damn drug and people just take it, and because 90% of people take it, it's considered normal. So if you say, for example, I don't drink caffeine in any form, that makes me absolutely ridiculous. I know one other person who does not drink caffeine. I mean, what do you say about that? So it's kind of weird. People, it's not that I'm missing out on things, really, but I don't care. If my value is attached to a cup of Joe, if I can be somebody's friend or not, I don't care. If you want me to drink coffee and I'm not drinking coffee and you don't like it, that's your problem. Then we're not a good match to be friends or even acquaintances anyway. So I just don't, you know, I don't feel like hanging with you anyway. So whatever you do, you do you, I do me. But these are the facts. Your sleep is going to increase. Your energy is going to be always the same, steady, and also is going to increase, and also the same applies to the focus. Plus, bonus point with everything throughout your life, your status quo emotionally is going to be much more peaceful, much more zen, much more chill, and without any extreme, you know, tsunamis up and down. So yeah, these are my 3 reasons why everyone should consider dropping caffeine right away. All right. Like this video, share it with your people, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!